Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of a bitch off the field right now, out, he's fired. He's fired! Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of a bitch off the field right now, out, he's fired. He's fired! Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of a bitch off the field right now, out, he's fired. He's fired! But you know what's hurting the game more than that? When people like yourselves turn on television and you see those people taking the knee when they're playing our great national anthem. The only thing you could do better is, if you see it, even if it's one player, leave the stadium. I guarantee things will stop. Things will stop. Just pick up and leave. Pick up and leave. Not the same game anymore anyway. But you know what's hurting the game more than that? When people like yourselves turn on television and you see those people taking the knee when they're playing our great national anthem. But you know what's hurting the game more than that? When people like yourselves turn on television and you see those people taking the knee when they're playing our great national anthem.
There really aren't words to describe how powerful and how important this simple statement is that you are about to see.
Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of a bitch off the field right now, out, he's fired. He's fired!
Now, the NFL, the Players Association groups, all of them are flipping out right now, because they're part of the Hollywood, part of the globalist, part of the big media elite that's been bullying and pissing on the American people and telling everybody they're racist and telling everybody they're bad and telling them to accept globalism and socialism and communism and to just give up all our rights, or we're going to bully you and call you racist, like Tom Brokaw's called me with no evidence. And Kaepernick, these other idiots are suing. Kaepernick's out of the NFL because he's a loser and had 2 horrible seasons. He's a loser little titty baby. Kaepernick, these other idiots are suing. Kaepernick's out of the NFL because he's a loser and had 2 horrible seasons. He's a loser little titty baby. Kaepernick, these other idiots are suing. Kaepernick's out of the NFL because he's a loser and had 2 horrible seasons. He's a loser little titty baby. Trump's saying, you want to bitch and complain and turn every NFL event into a big pity party and claim blacks are more oppressed than they've ever been and all this other crap, when these are some of the most rich and powerful black folks out there, hundreds of millions of dollars, in many cases apiece. This is all George Soros funded, and people are boycotting it, and there's record low ratings and record low attendance. So Trump's pointing out your power, and that's why even Fox News and the NFL commissioner are like, this is terrible, this is disrespectful, hating America and hating the flag and hijacking sporting events that folks just want to tune in and watch for political bullying. That's okay. But the president's saying, hey, owners, it's your company. You don't like people's political speeches during your event that they're paid to go play in, not give their political views? I mean, it's fine to give players $50,000 fines for, doing ridiculous celebrations, they say, but oh my God, put down America, work for George Soros, try to bully the country, try to, pull a spectacle off. Oh no, don't fire them. And Kaepernick, these other idiots are suing. Kaepernick's out of the NFL because he's a loser and had 2 horrible seasons. He's a loser little titty baby. And that's all this stuff is. And so he's saying it's okay to have America. It's okay to have our country. It's okay to love our nation. But they want to teach you to hate your nation. And America is waking up from this. And that's why Trump's statements are so incredibly powerful. 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 Doing is hardcore rallying the people. He knows he's riding a wave of nationalism. Globalism's done. It's doing is hardcore rallying the people. He knows he's riding a wave of nationalism. Globalism's done. It's doing is hardcore rallying the people. He knows he's riding a wave of nationalism. Globalism's done. It's
his base instincts are foul and base. The fact is that he could do us all as a nation by galvanizing us, by using his bully pulpit to bring us together. Let me tell you who disrespects the flag. A man who stands and lies daily. Let me tell you who disrespects the flag. A man who would get in bed rhetorically and symbolically with a person who has been seen as an enemy of the American state, Vladimir Putin. Let me tell you who disrespects the flag. A man who foments dissent against the precious ideals of American society, who embraces neo-Nazis as equal to people who oppose them. That is the subversion of the American anthems and flags. A flag is a piece of cloth unless it is backed up by the high ideals and noble aspirations for which this country fought and in which it has continued to bleed in order to realize the best for everybody. NFL players take a knee. They are not disrespecting flag. They are not disrespecting an anthem. They instead are going down to make us rise up, to make us look up at the ambitions we hold dear that should be applied to everybody. And right now they're not. Kneeling is not about a flag. It is about the degree to which African American people and other people of color are continually put upon by police people who do not ultimately respect them. The respect issue is right, except in this case, it has to do with African American people who are being mistreated by the police and other forms of noxious racism and discrimination that persists. So if this president wants, he would do better than appeal base instincts of his base, the kind of racist rants that are often heard and echoed in the chambers of their private gatherings. Instead, bring us together, show us the path toward real transformation, and allow us to see that these heroes, from Jackie Robinson to Colin Kaepernick, have used their bully pulpit, their platform, to issue that is initially unpopular, but ultimately comes to be embraced by America as common sense and the best route for us.
I want to bring it in.
Because one is a protest against it, and the other is a celebration.
No, it's not a protest against it. Go ahead, Mike. It's not.
Can I say, the protest is not against the flag. The protest is against the injustice that African American people and others are subject to. Let me say this. What's interesting here is that white people want to tell black people who suffer how, after suffering white supremacy, they should appropriate protest the mistreatment at the hands of those people. So it's like an abusive husband saying, hey, I have abused you, But let me tell you when and where to protest my abuse of you. Here's the point. You don't get the opportunity. You don't get the chance. You don't have the desire. This is the ironclad blindness of white privilege, that it is good enough to assume that it can impose the penalty to begin with and then forth the terms of its restitution. What we're saying here is simple. We are not protesting a flag. Black people have died for that flag. When American soldiers during World War II went to foreign theaters of war to defend ideals for which they would not be eligible when they returned home, proved that they love this country so much they died for something that they could not enjoy. And do you know, Brother Martin, when they returned, many of them were lynched, they were hated, they were resented by the very white people who now lift up that flag. And then furthermore, the Confederacy is a secessionist, traitorous label. Those people who hold high that flag instead of the American flag are the true traitors of America, because they want to secede. What we want to do is to have the ability to put forth the argument that the mistreatment of black people must not be tolerated. And it's precisely when that flag is raised that we go down on our knees to draw dramatic attention, as Martin Luther King Jr. did, to our injustice.
When does kneeling? When does that show?
First
of all, two things. Number one, the president is conflating what this is about. That's not what it's about. So first of all, he's offering up a false narrative about what the protest is not about the flag. It's not about veterans. It's about drawing attention to something that those men find important.
By disrespect,
and number two,
by disrespecting.
No, how is it? It's not disrespecting. They're telling you they're not disrespecting it. They're drawing attention. They're not taking away from the anthem. They're drawing attention to something that's important. And that's what protests do. They're uncomfortable. Protests are uncomfortable.
No. But you can say...
30 seconds, Michael.
So here's the point. The military cannot be the exclusive or the priority for democracy. Only in a fascist state does the military define what democracy is. Its citizens do. With all due respect to veterans and the military, you are not the litmus test for what is authentically American. You prevent, disaster from coming to this country, and we appreciate it. But you do not have a copyright on what freedom or justice or liberty look like. You take the terms of people who have suffered of how they will respond.
I gotta go. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
We'll have you back. It's good to have you on. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it. When we come back.
Mexicans want to destroy America. I'm talking about the illegal alien Mexicans. They hate this country with an absolute passion, and I'm supposed to buy into the media lie that, oh, they're these sweet little people that love us and they want to help us. Pure bull. And I'm supposed to sit here and watch the mayor, the former mayor, when he was mayor, sit there and declare them the cosmic race. What do you think La Raza means? You know what their motto is? For those inside the race, everything. For those outside the race, nothing. Did you know that if you can translate that into an exact Hitler speech and the different derivations of ein Volk, ein Reich, ein Führer? I mean, I'm hearing people actually with Hitler quotes turned around for their group, and I'm supposed to sit here and take it. I'm sick of it. And I'm sick of all the scum yuppies that run this country. I hate your guts. And I hate all the stinking, fake, yellow-bellied scumbag Republicans that love killing this country. And all the weak, bug-eyed twit liberals. All a bunch of weak, chicken-neck scum running this country into the ground. You don't know history. You don't know nothing. They've blown out our dollar. They've already tanked our sovereignty. The country's already gone. You fools. And you don't even know it. But this amnesty bill will put us that much deeper into the pit of hell with no chance of digging our way out. And I gotta sit here as an American and watch illegal aliens who hate our country running all over us with that stupid twit president that runs absolutely nothing, and that bug-eyed scumbag, that piece of filth. Ugh, I hate him.
The police are there not to, in our community, not to promote our welfare or for our security and our safety, but they're there to contain us, to brutalize us and murder us, because they have their orders to do so. Police in our community couldn't possibly be there to protect our property because we own no property. They couldn't possibly be there to see that we receive the due process of law for the simple reason that the police themselves deny us the due process of law. And so it's very apparent that the police are only in our community, not for our security, but the security of the business owners in the community, and also to see that the status quo is kept intact. When we first started, we had a police alert patrol, and we would patrol the community. If we saw the police brutalize anyone, we would put an end to this. Usually the police wouldn't brutalize anyone if we were on hand because we were armed, and if the police arrested the individual, we would follow him to the jail and bail the individual out, whether he was a Panther or not. And we would gain many recruits like this. So therefore the community started to say that, well, these people are really concerned about our work.
Involved in his murder took away a man with children who depended upon their daddy on a daily basis.
He killed my boyfriend. He's licensed. He's licensed to carry. He was trying to get out his ID and his wallet out his pocket, and he let the officer know that he had a firearm and he was reaching for his wallet, and the officer just shot him in his arm. We're waiting for a back. I will, sir. No worries. I will. He just shot his arm off. We got pulled over on Larpener.
I told him not to reach for it. I told him to get his hand out.
You told him to get his ID, sir, and his driver's license. Oh my God, please don't tell me he's dead. Please don't tell me my boyfriend just went like that.
Just keep your hands where they are, please.
Yes, I will, sir. I'll keep my hands where they are. Please don't tell me this, Lord. Please, Jesus, don't tell me that he's gone. Please don't tell me that he's gone. Please, officer, don't tell me that you just did this to him.
I'm at the Rivers in there, pawn shop. Where you at now? 220, just got shots fired. Subject get down.
In that exclusive interview from this man's hospital bed, the behavior therapist says he complied with all officers' demands, put his hands up in the air, but he was shot anyway.
Charles Kinsey laid in the middle of the road on his back, his hands in the air. North Miami police aim their rifles at him. Listen as he yells to the officers he is a therapist and was trying to help a confused autistic man who wandered away from a group home. Kinsey says he complied with the officers' demands.
When I went to the ground, I'm going to the ground just like this here with my hands up. And I'm laying down here just like this. And I'm telling him again, sir, it's no need for a firearm. I'm unarmed. He's an artistic guy. He had a toy truck in his hand. When he hit me, I'm like, I still got my hands in the air. I said, no, I just got shot. And I'm standing there, I'm like, sir, why did you shoot me? And his words to me, he said, I don't know.
Wolfboro Police Commissioner, a man by the name of Robert Copeland, he used a racial slur to attack President Obama, and yeah, you know which racial slur it was. It was the N-word. But not only was that not bad enough, then he decided to double down and defend his use of the N-word. We've got a quote. This is an email that he sent. He said, I believe I did use the N-word in reference to the current occupant of the White House. For this, I do not apologize. He meets and exceeds my criteria for such. While I believe the problems associated with minorities in this country are momentous, I am not phobic.
Copeland was silent during last night's town meeting, but when a group of residents confronted him in the parking lot afterwards, he made no apologies.
I admitted what I did. I made no bones about it.
You ever try to find a bruise on a nigger? It's out, huh? It's not like you're really listening to their words, because you'll key on what's the truth and what isn't. First thing, anything out of a nigger's mouth for the first 5 or 6 sentences is a fucking lie. Fight or fuck around with the police, you do what you're told. You understand, nigger?
Now, what happened in Los Angeles is not new or strange. The beating of Rodney King is an everyday event in black folks' lives in some city in America, even as I speak. Some black body is being crushed under the weight of blows by a police department that seeks to be judge, jury, and executioner over somebody who is suspected of a crime. You say that a man is innocent until proved guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, but if you're black in America, you're guilty. When they put their hands on you, you're guilty. They don't bring you before a judge to adjudicate the matter. They judge you there with the stick, with the gun, with naked brutality and the misuse of their authority. My appeal to those of you in authority is that you do justice while justice is in your hands to do. Because in a few moments from now, it won't be in your hands anymore. And when that happens, that will be a very hard day for those in authority, no matter what color we are. When God's Spirit moves among the people, and the people say, enough is enough, and too much is too much, and they determine to rise against unjust authority, then the end of that authority has come. There are no guns big enough to keep you in power, as the lessons of history will teach any of you who study history. When your time has come, when your evil outweighs your good, to the point that the God of righteousness becomes angry over your evil that you are dishing out to poor and defenseless people, and he decides to take up the cause of the poor, then your days are numbered. And as Daniel read the handwriting on the wall written in blood, he will say, your kingdom has been weighed in the balance, and has been found wanting. America has such handwriting now on the wall.
This Illuminati
and pistols at nightfall. Bang on them for the lives that remain lost. Click clack is the get back, new attitude for blacks. Gotta bang for the way they treat us like animals. Police clap and beat us like animals. Police black with heaters to protect and to serve. Better know who your enemies are. Been too much talking, man. No talking, no more speeches, candles, no marching, no more grieving parents, no sharking, no more calls for peace. Let's spark it and ride on these pigs till the wheels fall off. Collide for our rights till we rise above. Ain't no time for no talking, let's chalk them off. Back them off as the show to call till they recognize. It's the night of a long night. 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 It's the night of a long night. Night of a long night. When we all come together, hope we don't collide. It's the night of a long night. 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 It's the night of a long night. Night of a long night. When we all come together, hope we don't collide. One black man's killed every 28 hours by pigs in these fake vigilante cowards, claiming they scared only after they profile us and beat us or worse, so we hit back first. Set it off with a Molotov homemade charge. Black when the strap off, captain sword. Can't trust, so we bust on officers. Now they calling all cars suspects at large, so we blast first, then we ask questions last. Do like they do, mob and mash. Do like they do, ain't no pass, no stop, no print, just blap that ass. Cause we say gunplay's only thing that works. Squeeze, retreat in gorilla spurts. Do a drive-by, clap and squirt. From the rooftop, shoot, nigga, hit it work. It's the night of the long night. It's the night of a long night. It's the night of the long night. When the people come together, better watch your six. It's the night of a long night. Can't deny it. It's the night of a long night. It's the night of a long night. Ride when we all come together, hope we don't collide. Mass incarceration, mass surveillance, massa, we just can't take it. Can't take the blame in the cold abuse. Can't take the slave route in the pen for you. Can't take this police state, I can't lie. So here's an open letter to the FBI, to the pigs in the CIA and prisons, to the force that enforce for the 1%. See, we see right through your bullshit. That's why we move and pull quick. No love for the people, now we had enough. Keep it incognito when we call you bluff, and let these motherfucking hot rocks hit your neck. Hold cord in the street till you learn respect. That's a promise and a motherfucking soldier's threat. Gotta feel us to feel what we understand. We going the night of a long night. 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 It's the night of a long night. Night of a long night. When we all come together, hope we don't collide. It's the night of a long night. 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 It's the night of a long night. Night of a long night. When we all come together, hope we don't collide. It's the night of a long night. It's the night of the long night. Slugs and bricks. It's the night of the long night. Can't handle this. When the people come together, better watch your six. It's the night of the long night. Can't deny it. It's the night of the long night. It's the night of the long night. Riders ride when we all come together, hope we don't collide. Because the only language America speaks is violence. The only language America understands is violence. So let's